Hi guys, it's Veronica and today it's time for my very first solo review. I am super excited and I have to admit a lot nervous considering I've never done a review on my own before, and even then I've only done one review together with Lucy on our other channel. So you're going to be the very first ones to see me stumble along this path of reviewing books. Well, today the review is going to be about a duology that I personally love, and it's Clipped Wings and Inked Armor by Helena Hunting. I chose this duology to be the first on this channel of my reviews because, well, one, I've read it pretty recently and everything's still in my head about what I want to say about it and how I want to say it. And two, it is also a subject I've covered in my last video, which was the topic on fanfiction versus the books, and I have, well, kind of already reviewed these two in that one, but that was more on how the original fanfiction of Clipped Wings and Inked Armor portrays to the books. This time it's going to be just about, well, how the books are as books on their own, how they stand in my opinion. The genre, these two are not YA books. I know. Shocker! But that's because I generally do read YA. These two are adult fiction, which comes back very strongly in the adult themes of this book. Yes, there's intercourse in this book. Very detailed intercourse. It's an adult contemporary place in our time with, I think the ages might still count as YA considering they're, I think, 24 and 21 the main characters, so they're still young adults. So yeah, it might still be classified as young adult if you've taken out the sex scenes, but it deals with very dark subject matter as well. This is going to be a non-spoilery review. It's just going to be about the basics and my thoughts and opinions on those things. I guess you need to know a little bit more about these books if you haven't read them yet, so first off I want to read you the blurb of Clipped Wings, the first book. Hayden Stryker is a devastatingly handsome tattoo artist. Covered in ink and steel, his artwork acts as armor while he attempts to move on from a world-shattering loss. 21-year-old Tenley Page is new to town and battling demons of her own. When she meets Hayden, the chemistry between the two is instant and unlike anything they've ever experienced before. After Hayden agrees to apply his art to Tenley's skin, the pair embark on an emotional and intense relationship that neither could have anticipated. But as Tenley's past threatens to destroy their fragile romance, Hayden must find a balance between his desire to protect her and his need to claim her as his. Yes! That is the very short, well, that's basically the gist of what you need to know when you're getting into the story, but there's also a little bit more behind these characters. Tenley has just experienced the, well, traumatic experience she's been through and is still very fragile because of it. And Hayden has had a little while to stew on it because it happened a few years back, what occurred in his life. So they're at very different stages in their recovery, and it's very interesting to see how they move on with each other from those experiences. So I feel that's also something you should know while getting into the books, that it's not just about romance, it's also about healing together. There are quite a few characters in this that play a big or smaller parts in the storyline, and what I really liked about these books is that every single character in these books has layers. They all seem like one thing at first glance, and then you peel away a few of their layers and see how they are underneath. And it's very interesting to read about that, especially for a debut novel slash duology. So it's very interesting to see how that all plays out and how everyone develops during the course of these books. What I also really loved about this book is that it prominently features tattooing. It really does. It's a lot about tattoos, and a lot of it plays out in Hayden's tattoo parlor together with his other friends and colleagues. So it's nice to see a book where the writer actually knows a little bit about tattooing. They use the right lingo, they know what to say, they know what is right for a tattoo and not. I've read so many stories and books in which getting a tattoo is just like going there, dipping a needle in ink and just tattooing it. No, here they go over the whole process. It's also about the healing of the tattoos, the way you do it, the way you prepare, and I really like knowing that Helena Hunting actually did some research into it, otherwise she wouldn't have known all that she knows about tattooing. There are several recurring themes throughout the story, and those are mostly overcoming your fears and your boundaries, standing up for yourself, learning from your mistakes, and moving on. I feel those are the three most occurring themes, and they move throughout the entire duology. I really love that it's about learning who you are, learning how to deal with trauma, learning to be something else than you were before because something life-altering has happened to you, and finding who you are afterwards. It's just a very, very deep and dark, mostly dark story. It has its happy moments, but even in those happy moments, the demons are still loitering around in the background. So you get a lot of psychological issues that I'm personally very interested in. I love learning about how someone thinks. I love learning the way someone's mind works. And in these books you get a really clear look into the minds of two traumatized, well, 20-somethings. And I do mean you get a look into both of their minds, because this series is written from a dual point of view. You have Hayden's and Tenley's point of view, and some things occur simultaneously, but you also get to see one event from like Tenley's point of view, and then the aftermath from Hayden's, so you get to see both perspectives of the same thing. I would recommend this duology to people who don't mind adult situations. You can skip over them if you really feel awkward with those kind of things. I would recommend it to someone who is into dark subject matter and loves to read about someone who's a little bit screwed in the head, like I am, or I mean like I do. Oops. But it does have some seriously dark storylines. I would also recommend it for people who love tattoos, tattoo artists, or anything cute with little kittens and cupcakes. Yes, there's stuff like kittens and cupcakes in there. I know. Shocker. One thing I'm really curious about though is what Liz, one of the other leaders of this collaboration channel, thinks about this, because she has read the original fanfiction and has bought both of these books now. I think she's about to start them or has started them already, and I'm really curious to see what you think of it, especially since you've already read the fanfiction, and I would love to have a discussion on this with you. So get back to me on that, Liz. Promise me. Promise me. Okay, deal. That was it for today, my first review, and that's all I know what to say right now, so I guess I'll see you in a few weeks with my next video, so bye!